Hungary's Prime Minister, Viktor Orban, is serving as the European Union's president for the remainder of 2024, attempting to clear obstacles preventing peace talks to end the Ukraine war. However, his use of the EU presidency has not relieved the ongoing disputes with the EU over Hungary's immigration policy and reliance on Russian oil for Hungary's energy needs. The European Court of Justice issued a fine and daily fine of €200 million, $216 million, and €1 million, $1.1 million, against Hungary for non-compliance with the EU's asylum laws. The EU implemented a lenient policy, allowing asylum seekers to travel to Europe to escape conflicts or conditions. Hungary built a wall and infrastructure to prevent asylum seekers from entering Hungary, as the EU rules did not comply with Hungary's immigration laws. Hungary argues that its borders, particularly those with non-EU countries, are part of its sovereign rights to maintain and defend, and that the EU cannot mandate how it chooses to manage its international borders. The Criminal Court of Justice ruled in favor of the EU against Hungary, leaving Hungary in a position where it is responsible for its international border only to the extent it obeys EU asylum rules. Orban's government is currently paying the fine and still controlling its border, but they may agree to the court's ruling in exchange, but will bus asylum seekers to EU headquarters in Brussels. Another ongoing dispute between Budapest and Brussels revolves around the issue of Russian oil imports. After the start of the Ukraine war in February 2022, the EU's policy was to become independent of Russian oil and gas, but Hungary and Slovakia were exempted from the rule, and these two countries still maintain relatively good relations with Russia. The EU sanctioned another Russian oil company that uses pipelines passed through Ukraine to Hungary and Slovakia, and resulted in a significant reduction in oil to both countries despite the waiver from the EU. Ukraine has confirmed the cutoff but stated it was a political issue. Hungary and Slovakia asked the EU to intervene, but the EU refuses to intervene. And negotiate the issue has sparked suspicions that the EU is trying to compel Hungary and Slovakia to cease buying Russian oil. Hungary has accused the EU leadership in Brussels of being responsible for this and has declared that it will block the disbursement of the €6.5 billion European Peace Facility for Ukraine aid until the EU fulfills its agreement with the country. This will not slow Ukraine aid, since this is a fund meant to reimburse EU countries that make donations to Ukraine. Slovakia has also blocked disbursement of this fund and requested Ukraine to allow the oil to flow from the pipeline, with the reminder that Slovakia is a major electricity supporter for Ukraine. The EU has been largely silent on Hungary and Slovakia's new rhetoric over asylum and oil, and appears to be creating a political wedge in each country by attempting to lower the living standards of Hungarians and Slovakians so to foster a political rift from the bottom up and create political change in each country that is more agreeable to EU policy.